Hello, California. It looks like we are ready to roll here. Thank you all. We've got a good number of people signing up for today's webinar. Today is actually the third webinar we are hosting in California in the last few weeks. So it's great to see so many people signed up. And we're excited to share some information with all of you. I think we blocked an hour for you. We probably won't take quite that much time. So hopefully you can get back to all the great work that you all are doing out in the communities. Before we get started, I know we've got quite a few people registered and people are still signing on. So just to give people that are still logging on time to get ready to go. Well, first of all, I'll introduce myself. My name is Heidi Posada, and I have been with 501c Services for about 15 years. So looking at the list of people signed up, I've definitely interacted with some of you in the past, but also a lot of new faces, or like I should say a lot of new names, new organizations. So we're excited to be presenting this information to you. I will be answering questions. Janessa here, who you will also see, will be doing the presentation. So just to kind of get the chat going, get you comfortable with putting questions in, we do have the Q&A box. So in spirit of the Super Bowl, which unfortunately us here in California don't really have any fun teams to cheer for this year. At least last year we had our 49ers. We're Bay Area, so we were excited to have the 49ers. Since we don't, maybe not talk about the teams we're cheering for, but how about our favorite Super Bowl food? So if you just want to throw in the chat your favorite Super Bowl food, I'll tell you my husband's hands down is chicken wings. He could eat chicken wings every day of the week. I am chips and salsa or queso. I love the queso. If they can do fundito at a Super Bowl party, that would be super. But if you want to just throw in a couple of your, what your favorite Super Bowl food is, I've got a pizza. That's an easy. Let's get the takeout pizza, right, Janessa?
Yeah.
That's an easy one. Let's see, what else are we? They're coming in slow, folks, but maybe we're just not excited about the Super Bowl. I've got a chips and dip that just came in. Thank you, Melissa, for sharing that one. Yeah, chips and dip, chips and queso. That's always a good one. What else do we have coming in? Pigs in a blanket. Oh, wow. What do you think of those pigs in a blanket, Janessa?
Yeah, that one's really good.
Yeah. Well, we're not getting a whole lot of other responses. I'm sorry, it is the Q&A box that you should be going into, I believe. So that's where we can answer or put in questions throughout this presentation too. So just a heads up, Janessa is going to present. I will be in the background. Ooh, cowboy caviar. I'm not really sure what that is. Do you have any idea what that
Trader
is, Janessa?
Joe's. It's like corn and like pico de gallo, like in beans. It's pretty
Okay.
cool. 7-layer
Well,
dip.
it sounds like my kind of thing. If I like queso and chips, it sounds like
Yeah,
something I would be
it's
up
really
for.
cool.
I've got Judy with 7-layer dip. That's yeah. If I don't get the queso, that's super yummy. Okay, so it looks like we're getting a lot more people online. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a little bit of housekeeping before I hand this over to Janessa. First of all, this is going to be recorded, so I'm sure you're going to just think this is the most exciting information you've heard in a long time. And if you want to forward it on to maybe someone in finance, if you're HR, or someone in your HR, if you're on the finance side, please, you'll be getting this recording later on today. Also, Janessa here will be following up with everyone. We do have quite a few people signed up, so she'll do her best to get to it today. If not, it'll be later this week. She's out of the office tomorrow doing some face-to-face meetings. So we'll do our best to get everyone followed up with today with your HR credits, if you need them, the HRCI and Shroom credits. And she will also be, I believe you also sent a copy of the presentation.
Yes,
Okay.
that'll be attached.
Super. Is there any other housekeeping I'm forgetting, Janessa?
I think that's it. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A box. Heidi may answer, and we may get to it at the end of the presentation as well.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so yes, I'll do my best to answer them in the chat box. I'm gonna go away, but I'll be behind the scenes answering in chat if they come up. And yeah, again, it's the Q&A box, not the chat box. So yeah, and so I'll go ahead and introduce Janessa before I disappear. Um, uh, Janessa has been with 501 about a year and a half, going on her 2-year anniversary this summer. Before coming here, she worked in the wedding industry and tech industry, and now she's been working with nonprofits for the last year and a half, helping them learn different alternatives for managing unemployment and saving them money. So really the point in today's presentation is introducing you with 2 different options in managing unemployment, and hopefully giving you information on how you might be able to help reduce your expenses when it comes to managing unemployment. So I'm going to hand it off to Janessa, and I'll be back in about 30 minutes to help answer any questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Heidi. So for the agenda, we're going to provide a broad overview on how unemployment insurance works, the different alternatives for 501c3 nonprofits when it comes to unemployment, how reimbursing works. We're also going to use some real life examples of nonprofits we've helped with our cost analysis, and finally provide more information on our company, 501c Services, and how many of our California nonprofits, we have nearly 400 that have benefited from our services. So just wanted to start off with a little history to put unemployment in perspective. Unemployment started in the US in the 1930s following the Great Depression and New Deal, where the federal government wanted to create a safety net for workers who lost their jobs through no fault of their own. From 1930 to 1972, 501c organizations didn't pay into unemployment benefits for separated employees. Although this saved nonprofits money from paying these taxes, employees that were laid off couldn't reap the benefits of having a safety net that for-profit companies have provided. And then fast forward to 1972, the federal government changed the law under the Social Security Act to where nonprofits must pay into unemployment, but we're provided different options in how they pay, so the tax wouldn't be seen as a necessary expense for them. Unemployment is overseen on the federal level. However, each state gets to manage their own programs however they choose. So throughout the US, you can see different taxable wage bases, tax rates, benefit amounts. But today we're just going to cover information in California. When it comes to management, unemployment rates can be adjusted annually and are adjusted by experience. So for instance, if you have a year or two of bad claims, your tax rate will increase. Most states, including California, run as a risk pool. So what you put in doesn't necessarily equate to what you'll get out. We're seeing that a lot of nonprofits are putting more money into that pool than what they're actually getting out. These total tax liabilities by employers are often greater than the claims paid with reserves used in times of recession. And then the tax liability is calculated by multiplying the taxable wage base by your employer tax rate. So we're going to play a fun little game. Take a guess on what a single claim can cost in California. So feel free to put in the Q&A box what you think a single claim can cost in California. I'm seeing 5,000, 7,700. We got 3,000, 7,500, 1,200. So just as a hint, the total cost is looking at the weekly benefit maximum times the maximum number of weeks someone can claim. And that maximum number of weeks is 26 weeks. So I'm seeing 17,000. I'm seeing 2,600. All right, and I'm seeing one more guess, 13,000. So the maximum amount of what a single person can claim in unemployment in California can cost $11,700. Just as a caveat, this is what an employer is charged for employee benefits by the state. And those extended benefits you might have seen in the recession and extra COVID payments were covered by the federal government. The maximum weekly benefit in California is $450. And when we multiply that number by 26 is how we get that $11,700 for the maximum of what a single person can claim on unemployment. The federal government sets the wage base at a minimum of $7,000 and there's no maximum. California is at the lowest taxable wage base at $7,000, which means that for the first $7,000 an employee earns, your organization is taxed on that. So the majority of employers in California pay their taxes in the first quarter, but you might see that taxes paid after the first quarter, maybe for seasonal employees, new hires, or employees making less than $7,000. The minimum tax rate is 1.5%. The maximum tax rate is 6.2%, and those are both set by the state. There is also a 0.1% education fund that is added to all tax rates unless you have that maximum tax rate at 6.2%. I'd like to share some additional information that's unique to California. If you happen to have staff in other states, this may not apply. If you're a member of 501c Agencies Trust, we can help you navigate the different laws here in California and in other states too. We work with a lot of YMCAs, Boys and Girls Clubs, and other summer camp programs, so we're very familiar with this first tip. California exempts camp staff from unemployment coverage, provided that they are a full-time student, employed less than 13 weeks, and if the camp operates for less than 7 months a year. If the above criteria are met, their wages should not be included in your quarterly wage reporting to the state, as this is not considered covered employment. Reporting their wages in error may result in liability for benefits if they file a claim. If you do provide severance pay, you will want to make sure that you're not unintentionally overpaying by reporting these wages. The state of California does not consider severance payments to be wages. Therefore, these types of payments do not impact unemployment benefits. Individuals can receive severance and their full unemployment benefits. These payments should not be reported on your quarterly wage reports. If you report severance as wages, it can increase your liability by helping former employees requalify for a second claim after the initial claim has expired. Our members benefit from having experts available to help prevent them from overpaying for their unemployment. If you ever have questions on information like this, we'll do our best to help you out. The last thing I want to note is the improper payment rate, which is at 20.1%. And this overpayment equates to around $6 billion in overpayments to former employees who are collecting unemployment from the past 3 years. So that's about $2 billion on average per year. This is information that we get from the Department of Labor. And you can see California is one of the many states that's greater than 13%, a little over 20%. This is really important to know as we encourage you to look over your claims and make sure that you're not overpaying for anybody's claims. Here at 501, we help organizations monitor this. And in the recent 4 quarters, so Q4 2023 and Q3 2024, in California alone, we received over $350 in credits from previous overpayments via our claims management and internal audit process. If you are managing on your own, you want to make sure that you're properly charged for a former employee's weekly benefit amount. There are 3 different alternatives for unemployment. One is that you pay the state tax that we mentioned earlier with the tax rate that's set by the state and the taxable wages. Another option is that you can self-insure reimburse for your unemployment, where you just pay dollar per dollar for your unemployment claims. So you're basically only paying for the benefits issued. And then the last option is kind of a hybrid of both, where you buy insurance that offers the savings of reimbursing while also providing that safety net. Just to let you know, reimbursing is not for everyone. The qualifications we look at for considering reimbursing is that an organization must be a 501(c)(3) nonprofit. It excludes religious institutions. We recommend a gross annual payroll of $1 million or more, because typically if your payroll is under $1 million, especially significantly less, what you're paying into the state tax pool is probably pretty minimal, and you might not see much significant savings opting out. However, there could be some scenarios where you could see potential savings. So we'd be happy to look at your numbers, even if you're just slightly less than 1 million. We also look at a positive audit of the past 3 years. So that means in order for reimbursing to benefit you, we try to evaluate if what you paid each year in taxes exceeds what you pay in claims. We also want to make sure that there isn't any major disruption in funding for the next 24 months. So we do recommend to stay with SUI if you know you might have anything from layoffs, reduction in workforce, losing funds, or closing programs where your tax rates may go up with experience. And you'll probably want to wait once those claims decrease. What it means to reimburse is that your tax rate turns to 0%, and the state will bill you only for the unemployment claims you receive over the quarter. It's a great way for nonprofits to save money and be a better steward of donor dollars. The process is seamless for separate employees. No matter how your employee is separated, they'll still go through the same process for EDD, where the state will determine their benefit amount based on their base period pay. The only change is how the quarterly bill is calculated. Instead of the state unemployment insurance tax, you're now only responsible for charges your organization incurs. We work with 1,500 nonprofits, and nearly 400 of them are in California. So you're probably wondering what motivates them to reimburse. In most cases, reimbursing saves money. On average, savings can be anywhere from 20 to 40% compared to paying for SUI. And this is really the driver for most organizations to switch. Reimbursing eliminates any concern of changes in the state tax, such as those tax hikes you can't control. You become a better steward of donor dollars as you just pay for your actual claims and into the state pool. Because unemployment is managed by the federal government big picture, reimbursing is allowed in all 50 states, best with employers with over $1 million in payroll and at least 15 or more full-time employees. If you're on the borderline, we can certainly talk, as sometimes there are circumstances where we can consider reimbursing for your organization. If you're smaller and reimbursing already, we can still consider you for our services and how we can help you reduce your risk. So I do want to talk about how SUI is calculated. And like I mentioned earlier, we're going to show you some real cost assessments we've done in the past. The taxable wage base is customized by each state. In California, the taxable wage base is at the federal minimum of $7,000. All employers in the state pay the same taxable wage base. It represents the first $7,000 of an employee's earnings. There's no maximum and can increase or decrease by any amount each year. The tax rate is set annually by the state and is based on experience. To calculate the contribution amount, you multiply the taxable wage base by the tax rate. So for California, it's that $7,000 times the 1.5 to 6.2%. This amount means that if each employee makes over $7,000, a company is paying in between $105 to $434 per employee in unemployment. In this first example of a human services nonprofit we worked with, the taxable payroll was just shy of $1 million, tax rate of 4.7%, estimated claims only $200 per year. And in this case, we looked at a 3-year average of claims. So they were overpaying $45,000 a year. Think of what you can do with an additional $45,000. This next example, the taxable payroll is around $700,000. tax rate 3.38%, estimated annual claims $5,900, estimated unemployment taxes were around $24,000, so they overpaid around $18,000. What we do to get the ball rolling on an assessment is that we look at the EDD tax rate notice. Typically, it's sent around December 31st, but many of you may have received it earlier through email in November. The key points to look at is the first highlighted number in the top right corner. The 1.7% is the tax rate. The F plus in the middle that's not highlighted is the tax table California is currently in. This is called the UI rate schedule, which is the lowest it can be here in California because the state owes significant funds to the federal government. The F plus rating means that they can increase your tax rate higher than it would be if it were in a different tax rate schedule. Unless you have that maximum 6.2 tax rate, you would also add the 0.1% employment training tax to your tax rate. Some other numbers not highlighted is the current balance, which in this example is around $178,000. So that means during the organization's history, they may have overpaid $200,000 into the state. In line item number 2, they paid over $22,000 in unemployment between 2017 to 2018. And line number 9, they only paid about $1,200 in claims. So that means this organization paid over $20,000 into the pool than what they actually took out. So we really want to help you to investigate these numbers and see if there is that potential 20,000 savings or more that could be sitting within your organization. A little bit more about our company. We were founded in 1982 by a former UCP executive, John Huckstad. He was looking at ways to save money for his organization, so he came up with the idea of starting a trust. He created the first kind of grantor trust called the Joint Unemployment Compensation Trust that eventually became 501c Services, also 501c Agencies Trust. We started at about 25 members here in San Jose and have now grown to helping over 3,000 nonprofits in various ways. In 2016, John sold the company back to his employees, so we're now 100% employee-owned. From our receptionist to the CEO, every member is committed to our company and also serving our members. Our services are valued tremendously by our members, with our company having over a 98% retention rate. Here are a couple of testimonials our members have shared, and you can also go back to these later, as I'll send the slides after the presentation. And this is a clip from our 40th anniversary celebration a few years ago that includes testimonials from Anika Lund and Mike Hoffman from Start Early, Mary Sue and Michael Eady from CISC, Sandy Leota and Chris Marshall of Baltimore Center Stage, and Phyllis Austin and Jason Penniger from Boys and Girls Clubs of America.
What makes me passionate about working for a non-for-profit organization is because I knew I always wanted to work for a mission-driven organization.
Our mission is to work with immigrant communities so that they can achieve the American dream.
501 helps focus our service to the community by giving us more time.
501 helps us focus on serving our communities by providing services directly to our HR professionals.
The biggest benefit for working with 501 is really the transparency and ability to forecast our costs when it comes to our unemployment benefits.
They also keep our cash flow steady through claims that are sound and take a lot of the admin burden off of us so we can just stay on autopilot.
We're very grateful for all the support you provided over the last 4 decades, and we wish you continued success in the future.
Congratulations, 501, on your 40th anniversary. It's been a pleasure serving with you for the last 24 years.
And like I said earlier, we work with around 400 California nonprofits. And here's a quick snapshot of a few nonprofits here in the state that are members. Also, like you heard them say in the video you just watched, our members appreciate how we save them time and relieve some administrative burdens when it comes to unemployment. One way we do that is with our claims management. In California, we have handled over 3,000 claims. Our team will help you audit and protest claims. We offer unlimited access to hearing reps, and our team has a 78.97% protest win rate in California. You will have a dedicated claims manager once you become a member of the trust, and then all of your claims will go through an online portal where you'll be notified that a claim has been filed. So you'll go into that portal to respond to the questions. And if in any case you go on PTO and forget to delegate these unemployment tasks, it shouldn't be a problem for when a claim isn't responded to in several days. It gets escalated and handled. A big part of our claims management is that our team doesn't want to see your organization overpay or get hit by those California error rates. So we can audit those charges for you or prevent you from paying for a claim when someone gets terminated. We want to make sure that you're managing these claims and also have enough support to do so. Our HR services include 3 components. We offer access to unlimited HR consultations. We're a small, dedicated team that will answer any of your HR related questions. So if you have an ongoing issue, you can develop rapport with a person who can support you and manage any of your HR questions. Our HR services have trainings throughout the year that are HRCI and SHROOM certified. And there's also an online knowledge library with our HR services. With the $450 maximum weekly benefits here in California, our goal is to help you keep that cost as low as possible. If you're ever laying someone off, our reemployment tool lets you offer packages that can range from online coaching, interview techniques, and resume writing. It's never fun to let someone go, but at least you can give them the safety net and resources to help them secure a new job faster, which in return can help your organization save money. The protection is the insurance part of our program. Most of our members take our stop loss protection, which helps our members during catastrophic claims. And other than the catastrophic claims, for managing the highs and lows of unemployment, we have the trust account. This is a reserve account owned by our organization where you would save for those possible unexpected number of claims. So I hope this sparked your interest, and maybe some of you may want to manage your employment through us as a reimbursing employer. If you wanted to look into potential savings, what I would need from you is your 941s or your estimated payroll from 2023 to 2024 as a reimburser. If you're paying SUI, I would need a copy of your 2024 tax rate notice. It'd also be helpful if you have the 2022 and 2023 tax rate notices, so we can look at additional data points for you. And if for some reason you're having a hard time getting this information, we do have a cheat sheet for you on how to contact EDD for California, and hopefully this will help you get the data that you need.
Hey, Janessa, so far we don't have any questions. So, but one thing I did notice, and we've done this a couple of times and I haven't noticed in the past, we actually want your 2025 tax rate notice.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
So
okay.
it was sent in November, emailed to a lot of people. Otherwise it maybe mailed to you in December. Your payroll company might have it, but it's technically the 2025 tax rate notice.
Okay. Cool. So we don't have any questions, and we will log off in about a minute. And if you are typing, please feel free to send it in the follow-up email I'll be sending in a few hours. And also feel free to let us know if you have any questions. In the meantime, I have my contact information at the end of this slide. And thank you again for watching this presentation. And we really look forward to speaking with some of you soon. So this is my contact information, but be on the lookout for my follow-up email. It'll have also the attachment of the slides and also the HRCI and SHROOM credits. Thanks again, and we hope you have a great day.
Looks like everyone's getting back to work early.
Oh yeah.